Have you ever heard a story so wild, so incredible, that it just had to be true? Today, we read diving deep into the heart of American folklore to tell the tale of the greatest lumberjack who ever lived. A man whose legend is as big as the country itself. This is the story of Paul Bunyan and his best friend, Babe the Blue Ox. Our story begins in the vast, untamed wilderness of the American frontier. When he was just a few weeks old, he could already clear acres of trees just by rolling around in his sleep. His laughter echoed like thunder through the valleys, and his cries could shake the leaves from the tallest pines. As he grew, so did his strength. He could swing an axe with the force of a hurricane and chop down a whole forest in a single morning. His reputation as a mighty lumberjack spread from coast to coast. Lumber camps buzzed with stories of his incredible feats. One year, the legendary winter of the blue snow descended upon the land. The snow fell so deep and so blue that it covered everything, making the world feel still and quiet. But this wasn't just any ox. Its fur was the same brilliant, impossible blue as the snow all around it. Paul's giant heart was moved with compassion. He gently scooped up the tiny blue ox, tucked it inside his warm flannel shirt, and carried it back to his camp. He named him Babe. Paul nursed the little ox back to health, feeding him warm milk and keeping him by the fire. Under Paul's care, Babe didn't just recover. He began to grow, and grow, and grow, and grow. Soon, Babe wasn't a tiny ox anymore. He grew into a magnificent, colossal beast, standing taller than the tallest trees. With horns so wide it took a flock of crows a whole day to fly from one tip to the other. His coat remained that stunning shade of blue, a constant reminder of the day he was found. Babe was not only immense in size, but also in loyalty. He followed Paul everywhere, his giant blue shadow a constant companion to the giant lumberjack. Together, Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox became an unstoppable team. They were more than just a man and his pet. They were partners, the best of friends, and they set out to tame the wild frontier. Over towering mountains, and across mighty rivers. Wherever they went, the very landscape was shaped by their presence. The thousands of lakes in Minnesota. Legend says those were created from Paul Bunyan's giant footprints filling with water as he walked. And that winding Mississippi River. Some say it was formed when Paul's massive water tank sprang a leak and trickled all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. Paul's work was to clear the land for settlers, and with Babe by his side, no job was too big. Paul would swing his double-bladed axe, a tool so heavy no ordinary man could even lift it, and trees would fall like matchsticks. But getting those massive logs to the river was the real challenge. That's where Babe came in. With his incredible strength, Babe could pull an entire forest's worth of logs in a single go. He was so strong, he once straightened a logging road that had more twists and turns than a tangled fishing line. He just hitched himself to one end of the road and pulled with all his might until it was perfectly straight. Their incredible feats didn't stop there. They say that the Grand Canyon itself was carved out when Paul Bunyan was dragging his enormous axe behind him on a long journey, and the famous geyser, Old Faithful, in Yellowstone. The story goes that's where Paul once tried to cook his flapjacks over an underground spring. And the steam has been shooting out ever since. Of course, Paul needed a giant griddle for his giant flapjacks. His blacksmith had to use an entire iron mine to forge it. Through all these incredible adventures, the bond between Paul and Babe grew stronger. They relied on each other completely. Paul's cleverness and skill with an axe, combined with Babe's brute strength and unwavering loyalty, made them a perfect team. They faced every challenge together, from logging entire states to battling swarms of giant mosquitoes that were so big, Paul had to train giant bees to fight them off. Their friendship was a testament to the power of teamwork. They showed that when two friends work together, there is nothing they can't accomplish. They weren't just clearing forests. They were building a nation, one tall tale at a time. Their courage was legendary. They weren't afraid of anything the wild frontier could throw at them. Whether it was a blizzard that lasted for a year, or a river that flowed uphill, Paul and Babe always found a way. Their stories became the heart and soul of the lumberjack world, told and retold around crackling campfires on cold nights. Every lumberjack wanted to be as strong as Paul and have a friend as loyal as Babe. They became heroes, symbols of the rugged, hard-working spirit that defined the American frontier. As the years passed, the stories of Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox spread far and wide. They were passed down from one generation to the next, growing a little taller and a little more incredible with each telling. The tale of the giant lumberjack and his giant blue ox became more than just a story. It became a legend. A core piece of American folklore that captured the imagination of the entire country. Their legacy is not just in the landmarks they supposedly created, but in the spirit they represent. A spirit of adventure, resilience, and boundless optimism. So, what can we take away from this larger-than-life tale? The moral of their story is simple but powerful. True friendship and teamwork can achieve extraordinary things. Paul was strong, but he was even stronger with Babe by his side. Their legend reminds us that no matter how big the challenge, having a loyal friend to face it with makes all the difference. It's a celebration of the frontier spirit, the idea that with enough hard work, courage, and a little help from our friends, we can overcome any obstacle and shape our own world. The legend of Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox is a reminder that some of the best stories are the ones that inspire us to dream big and believe in the impossible. They are folk heroes who embody the strength, heart, and humor of a young nation finding its way. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the heart of American folklore. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure into the world of myths and legends. See you next time.